They didn't send bombs, they didn't fire a single shot, but what one African leader said on Gaza shook the world. This is not a news report. This is a dramatized story, born of real pain, real courage, and Africa's rising voice. If you believe in justice, smash that subscribe button. Your ancestors are watching. Turn on notifications. Don't miss the truth. Share this with your family, your church, your crew. Comment, I stand with Gaza. The best replies get pinned because silence helps no one. And this story, it's about breaking it. His name? Captain Cairo Traoré, 34 years old, a soldier who rose from the dust of war, and on a cold November morning, he stood before the African Union in Addis Ababa, not with a weapon, but with a microphone. Behind him, a screen lit up, not with maps, but with faces. A little girl in a hospital bed. A boy holding a photo of his parents, gone. A mother digging through rubble, searching for her baby, and beneath it, one word. Gaza. The room fell silent. No whispers. No interruptions. Just grief. Then Trey spoke. Calm, clear, unshakable. I was born in a land of red soil and golden sun. I know what it means to lose a home, to see your village burned, to flee with nothing but memory. But I also know this. When the world is silent, the pain never ends. What is happening in Gaza is not war. It is erasure. It is the crushing of a people for daring to exist. And if we, who have known occupation, who have been colonized, who have had our land stolen, if we stay silent, then we are complicit. He paused. They say we should be neutral, that Africa must not take sides. But I say, neutrality in the face of atrocity is not peace, it is betrayal. Then came the call. Close your ports to arms shipments, downgrade diplomatic ties, suspend trade with companies profiting from this war. Not to start a war, but to stop one. Silence. Then, one by one, leaders stood. Not all, but enough. Within 72 hours, Burkina Faso suspended military cooperation. Mali halted a $300 million port deal. Niger expelled a foreign military advisor. And the hashtag #Africa Stands with Palestine exploded. 10 million views in 48 hours. This wasn't a declaration of war, it was a declaration of conscience. And the youth, 67% under 25, watched it unfold. In Ouagadougou, students painted murals, a Palestinian child holding an African flag. In Dakar, rappers dropped tracks. From Gaza to Gao, we rise as one. In Accra, mothers organized food drives, not just for Palestine, but for displaced families in the Sahel, because they understood oppression is the same language, no matter the accent. But the world didn't stay quiet. Editorials called Traoré reckless. Diplomats warned of economic consequences. One world leader reportedly said he's playing with fire. But Traoré didn't flinch. At a press conference, he said, "We were born in fire. We are not afraid of it." Then came the real revolution, not in politics, but in education. Over 5,000 schools had been closed due to insecurity, so Trey launched Operation Light, a solar-powered radio network that broadcast lessons daily. But now, he added something new, a weekly segment, Stories of Resistance. Not just about African heroes, but about Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, Gandhi, Lebanese doctors in Gaza, Palestinian teachers teaching in bomb shelters. One 14-year-old girl in Kaya said, "I used to think war was just something that happened far away. Now I know, courage is global." That phrase went viral. Courage is global, printed on T-shirts, shared in classrooms, and then, the ultimate act of unity. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger announced the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, a new bloc built on self-reliance, shared defense, and moral sovereignty. Their first joint statement, "We recognize the right of the Palestinian people to exist, to live, and to return. No military threat, no incitement, just a moral line in the sand. The old regional bloc, ECOWAS, issued a cold response. But the people? They celebrated, because for the first time, Africa wasn't just reacting, it was leading. Of course, the cost was high. Sanctions came. Some foreign investors pulled out. Fuel prices rose. But others saw opportunity. Turkish engineers helped build roads. Brazilian agronomists shared drought-resistant farming. Russian military advisors offered training without base rights. The key? Balance. Partnerships, not dependencies. Cooperation, not colonization. And as the months passed, something remarkable happened. Tourism returned. Not luxury resorts, but solidarity tourism. Travelers came not just to see the Banfora waterfalls or the domes of Fabedugu, but to learn. How did a nation rebuild without foreign aid? How did youth lead a silent revolution? What did moral courage look like in action? One journalist from New York wrote, "I came to report on a crisis. I left inspired by a renaissance. And then, the ultimate symbol of change, the Uwaga Justice. Hub opened, a center for human rights, conflict resolution, and global solidarity. Students studied international law. Lawyers offered free counsel to displaced families. Artists created murals of unity, African and Palestinian children holding hands. This was the new generation, not waiting for permission, building. A future of dignity, not dominance. And Captain Trey, he didn't claim victory. At a rare public speech, he said, "I did not change Africa. The people did. I only refused to stay silent." Today, the challenges remain: poverty, climate change, insecurity, but the spirit, unbroken, and the youth, they're no longer asking, "Can we survive?" They're asking, "How fast can we rise for ourselves and for others?" So now I ask you, what would you have done if you were in that hall, with the world watching and the chance to speak for the voiceless? Would you have stayed silent, or would you have stood? Comment. I stand with Gaza. The most powerful, honest, or personal reply will be pinned. If this story moved you, smash that like button. Subscribe, because next week, the nation that canceled debt forever. The future isn't predicted, it's imagined. And sometimes, it starts with a single, "We stand with you."